when you are leading a group of policemen to places like this, let's say there is, in controlling a crowd, we do not resort. There are four circumstances under which a policeman should resort to the use of firearm, and this is specified in our service instructions. 1, in rearresting someone who has committed a crime and has been sentenced by a court, and maybe on the way to prisons you run away. That is when you commit a felonious crime, a very high degree crime. You can resort to a firearm to maim the person, to rearrest him. Another circumstance is in dispersal of a riotous mob. Please, not demonstrators. A riotous mob who are attacking or about to attack life and property. Then, also, you can resort to the use of firearm when your life as a police officer is in immediate danger. Please, not only in danger, but your life is in immediate danger, that there is nothing you can do apart from the resorting to the use of firearm where you can save yourself. And then the last one is when you are going to arrest someone who has committed a felony and the person is resisting arrest by an armed force, then you can also resort. So these 4 circumstances is what gives you the mandate to resort to the use of firearm. What was happening in Ejura was not a riotous mob who were attacking life and property. So
two key things should have happened. The mob should have been attacking life and property. That's when you call it a riotous mob.
Yes, they must be attacking property or about to attack property. The police must have intelligence that the riotous mob is coming to attack or about to attack or is attacking. So is this one? Let's define the crowd. That crowd was not a riotous mob. They were aggrieved youth who lost a member, and then they were aggrieved. So they were not riotous mob. The police cannot define that mob as a group as a riotous mob. That's number 1. They were not attacking life and property, or they were not about to do that. So the resorting to the use of firearm by those who fired is erroneous.
So everything you've seen, but also I don't know what to make of that video. The video where the soldiers just jumped out of their vehicle, and then the very first thing they started doing is to start shooting. I know that when you were there, they usually have joint task forces of military men and police officers. Under the circumstance when military men and police officers are working on dispelling a crowd of this nature, exactly how is it supposed to be handled?
Yes. Normally, we do have a leader, either from the military or the police, depending on the senior who is in charge. Now, in this case, as I was saying, let's say they were demonstrating and the demonstrators let's say they've gone more than the normal demonstration. So it means that even if they are trying to destroy property or anything, our mandate is not to shoot and kill. We fire up. Normally we fire at the ringleader, and the aim of firing is to name the person so that the others will run away. We don't fire into the crowd or even above the crowd. And I'm going to tell you the reason. If you fire into the crowd, you are going to kill someone who is not even a ringleader, who is just following the crowd, who is innocent person. Or you fire above, it might go and hit somebody who is far away who is not part of the group. So you target the ringleaders of the mob, and then you at their knee. That is what is recorded in our books. And I'm telling you this, that no police officer or army is supposed to fire directly into a crowd. I listened to the doctor who was speaking. He said the ammunitions were found one at the back of one person penetrating into the chest. It means that that person was running away. Under no circumstance, someone who is retreating should be fired at. So when I was there, in fact, if it is a rubber bullet, even that one is not targeted to kill anybody. But I saw this soldier taking a knee position. That means attacking to fire. Those people are not soldiers. They are not soldiers. I cannot, because a Ghanaian soldier, well trained, will never do what I have seen in the picture. Sena, our country is at the verge of tolerating certain people in military uniform. And if the police, the Minister of Interior, the Minister of Defense think that they would accept as these things going on, one day it's going to be on them. It's going to be on them, because if the civilians are being attacked and they are not talking, they are not trying to look for these people and deal with them. We experienced it in Techiman. We experienced it in Odododiodio. We experienced it in Ablekuma. All these things, nothing has been done. Then Nana Akufo-Addo's government is actually going to fail in the next 4 years. Fail, and will be a government that nobody will remember. I'm sorry to say this.
Well, because you're talking about the rule books and also exactly what you're supposed to do. So I'm guessing this is part of the training and everything. So what is failing in this regard? Is it the common structure that is used when they arrive at these situations? And also, or is it the failure of proper, thorough training? What is it, or the quality of people they are putting in there? Where is the failure coming from?
I will say that there are several factors. One of the factors is that I didn't hear any commander among the group commanding that you should shoot. So it means that the people moving, they all have, they think they all are wielding certain powers where they don't even have to listen to a senior man among them to command them to do what they have done. That is one. Number two, before the election, I know soldiers and policemen who went to training, and less than 3 months they came out. In fact, I mean, let's say what we call the army training or the police training. Teaching of weapon alone takes more than 3 months. Teaching of weapon
handling takes 3 months.
Yes, it takes 3 months, and in the police service, we do more than 3 firings at a range within 3 months before we qualify to handle rifle. So if people are trained 3 months, in addition to everything, so now how qualified is that person? In the police service, our training is not 6 months. The police training, if they tell you 6 months, those who have gone to the police training and have gone well trained will tell you that the least is the police drivers and artisans that are trained 6 months. The rest, 9 months, 10 months, people even spend 12 months at training. But today, during the COVID situation, policemen were trained for 3 months and less than 3 months. And the same applies to the people who went into the military training. And so what do you expect from these people? Number two, most of them are not educated. So the books that they have to learn and know how to respond, just as you called me, I was not aware you would even be calling me. But how was I able to tell you that before you resort to the use of firearm, we have circumstances, which are 4 that I have enumerated to you. And then, in the police service, as I said, we call it Service Instruction 97. That is what I read to you. So the people who cannot read and write, but are party boys that have been put into the service, how can they read this in and understand and put it in their brain and make use of it as they go along? This is the problem Ghana Police and Ghana Army is going to face if these people are not fished out. So it is one, meaning the time of training, the duration for training is wrong. Then the wisdom of the people or the knowledge of the people they are taking into the service and the kind of power the people think they have weld. These are the problems.
And I wanted to ask this question a bit earlier. For a situation like this, is it normal for the military, a vehicle that's conveying military men, to lead the charge, holding live ammunitions?
Yes, Sena, under no circumstances should the army ever come in if it is not at the invitation of the police. In situations like this, it is the police that take charge of crowd control. We read about the issues on this act, 1 Act 491, which is public order. The military don't learn the public order. It is only the military police that come to learn that from us, not all the military. So we, the police, learn about the Public Order Act. So we know how to control crowd. It is when the whole thing is above the police cannot accommodate it, that we invite the military. So it is very, very absurd to see a military car just arrive there, and I think somebody in power have called the military to do that. To do that, it is not in place at all when it comes to our way of working.
For the sake of emphasis, if you have young people who are burning tires or are impeding traffic in protest, and your job is to go there and ensure that you disperse them, what steps do the police usually take in such a situation?
Yes, we have several de-escalation methods. There are certain times you don't even need arm at all. You will have to try to talk to the leaders who are in charge of that group. And I tell you, the leaders, when they realize that you are not coming towards them with arm and weapons, they will be ready to listen to you. When that fails, then we use the rubber bullet, even the water cannon. I saw the police water cannon car passing on the video. So I was surprised that even water cannon, hot water, was not used. If it got to the extent that they should use it, was not used. And live ammunitions were used to kill Ghanaians, people that our president have vowed to protect. So, as I was telling you, we need to engage the people without arm in the first instance. And that is trying to what? Find out who are the leaders. In fact, not everybody, there is this psychological distance where people get inhibited in acting when they see the police. So if the police were to approach them with a calm voice, a way of calming them down, they would have managed to do that. So it was the firing and other things that can even agitate the people, aggravate them the more. And one day, it's not going to be like this. By the time they will know, people in the uniform will also be down. And that is where we cannot go back. This is the time for us to go back and start working very well to stop these things happening. Because it is the constitutional right of Ghanaians to demonstrate. And if they are doing it and they don't have a way of stopping it, but to fire and kill people as it happened in those circumstances I've already stated, then there is a problem, Sena.
Well, but now it has happened. 2 people killed, several people injured. For a lot of us, what is important is accountability. Usually what happens in this circumstance, do you see that happening following? Because you mentioned what happened in Techiman, but what is supposed to happen under this circumstance to guarantee, to assure us that there will be some accountability from those who engage in this? Because this creates a certain sense of fear and tension.
Yes, Sena, and with the police, it's easy to identify people when they do wrong. And you can see it when policemen use police vehicles and other things to go and rob. It doesn't take time to fish them out. But with the army, it's very difficult for you to go to the military barracks for them to release their people who do these kind of things. But as I was telling you, there is some power behind those people who are doing this. It might not be effective trained military men. And so, since nothing has been done in those ones we have talked about, this one, what are we expecting? I don't think anything will happen to anybody. Anything will happen to these people who have done this. If anything will happen, then the military head must come. The military head at Ejura, who has allowed his men, he will be able to fish out the men who have gone there, just as it happened in Floyd's case. Floyd's case, they were not, those who investigated the matter, they were not there. They just looked at the CCTV and the camera that the picture that people took, the video, and the investigation was done. And the right person who kneeled on George Floyd was fished out. So this clear video could let the person out. So if the military says that they are for Ghanaians and then there is no political influence, they should come out and fish out these people for them to be dealt with. If it were to be the police, I assure you, the police will quickly bring the... You see, one thing about the police is police don't hide their criminals. They don't. Until now, I know. Police officers, if you don't know you misbehave, they will fish you out. They themselves will fish you out. But the military is difficult.
Well, let me end by asking the question that we are all thinking about, whether this will affect investigations into the murder of Kaka, and which one we should prioritize first. Should we prioritize holding the officers who went there accountable, perhaps to create some confidence, because people have to provide them information before they will be able to apprehend those who are behind what happened to Kaka? So which one should come first? Accountability from those who engage in the killing, or investigations to be prioritized? Where do we start from?
All can be done at the same time. And, you know, Kaka, we know that he was given a warning letter by the police commander there. And the warning letter was written on a municipal assembly letterhead. So the investigation is very simple. That from the warning, what has he done that he has been warned? And from which authority? Has the police any power to warn anybody who have not committed any criminal offense? We have power where sometimes we give warning letter to drivers and other people, but the police has no judicial function. And for that matter, we can only prosecute. We can never, ever warn anybody for any political reason. So the police commander there should come and explain why he used municipal assembly letterhead. The investigation should start from there. And then concerning these people, the video is clear. I don't want to remind people of what happened in Obuasi, that town where Major Mahama was killed. It was the video that helped policemen to arrest all those people. So this video, it should be done side by side. One problem we have in Ghana is that when investigation is delayed, the farther the criminals go. If you compare it to the UK, if you have done something and for 2 years you have not been caught, the police are at your heels. But in Ghana, it's the other way around. The longer investigation keeps, the farther the criminals are away from arrest. And so these two things should be done side by side. The investigation can be done on Kaka's death, and then at the same time, the apprehension of these people in the video to come and tell who shot the two guys. That one will also be done side by side.